What if life is one big déjà vu moment? What if everything that's happening right now has happened an infinite number of times before? This may sound like something from a sci-fi movie, but some physicists actually believe this is reality. We're stuck inside what they call a temporal echo, a repeating cycle of birth, life, and death. And every time it reaches its end, it starts again from the beginning. We may think we're moving forward through time, but really, we're just running on a treadmill. In this universe, there are no beginnings or endings. There is only an eternal present. The idea of being trapped in a time loop might sound terrifying, but some researchers say it's actually a comforting thought. If you believe you've already lived your whole life to the very last second, then every decision you make from this point forward, whoa, you won't change anything because you will just keep reliving the same moments over and over anyway. In other words, what's the point of worrying about the future when it's all just a big fat repeat? Here are 5 reasons why we're stuck in a time loop and it's starting again. Time seems to be moving faster than it used to. Have you ever felt like time is passing more quickly as you get older? If you're asking this question, chances are you're not alone. Many people share this feeling that time accelerates with age. For example, childhood feels like it went by in the blink of an eye, while the years between 20 and 30 seem to crawl by painfully slow. Some scientists have proposed that these temporal shifts may be due to our brains adjusting to the passage of time within a constantly looping universe. As we grow older, we accumulate more memories, which creates a sort of temporal bias towards the recent past. Our brains start to interpret new experiences in relation to our existing memories, making them feel more familiar and therefore less significant. This is why the present seems to slip away so quickly when we reminisce about our childhood. There are so many vivid memories stored there that our minds quickly scan through them, creating a sense of rapid movement through time. On the other hand, when we reach our 20s and 30s, the accumulation of memories slows down. Each new experience feels unique and significant, which makes time seem to move more slowly. So the feeling that time is speeding up as we get older could be a side effect of reliving the same life over and over again. Every year, season and month is just a repeat of the last, but because our brains can only hold so many memories at once, we perceive the most recent ones as more significant and therefore more fleeting. Déjà vu. Have you ever had a déjà vu moment? This French term literally means already seen, and it's that eerie feeling that something is strangely familiar, like you've already experienced the present moment before. Some scientists believe that déjà vu moments are more than just a quirk of the brain. They are actually fragments of the past bleeding into the present. According to the temporal echo theory, déjà vu moments occur when your consciousness briefly taps into memories from previous loops. For example, let's say you're walking down a street and you feel a strong sense of familiarity. You look around and realize you don't recognize anything. This could mean you've just entered a new time loop and are reliving a life that you've lived countless times before. Or it could be that you're still on the same loop, but your consciousness is accessing memories from a previous iteration. So instead of feeling like you've traveled through time, think of it as if you're experiencing déjà vu every time you enter a new time loop. Your memories from the previous loop surface, and you mistakenly believe you're living through a new experience. That's why it feels so strange and unsettling. In a way, déjà vu could be seen as a glitch in the matrix, a reminder that we may be living in a temporal echo where the boundaries between past, present, and future are blurred. Strange coincidences. Have you ever experienced a strange coincidence? Maybe you ran into an old friend you hadn't seen in years, or kept seeing the same number sequence everywhere you looked. These coincidences might seem random, but some physicists argue they are actually signs that you're trapped in a time loop. For example, let's say you keep having prophetic dreams that come true in your waking life. You dream about winning the lottery and the next day you find a winning ticket. You dream about someone you have unseen in years and then run into them at the grocery store. These coincidences aren't just lucky breaks. They're actually memories from future iterations of your life, bleeding into the present. By understanding these coincidences, you could potentially use them to your advantage. For example, if you dream about an upcoming job interview and do some research beforehand, you could use the information to prepare and ace the interview in your waking life. However, it's important to note that not all coincidences are benign. Some may indicate a dangerous event or situation that needs to be avoided. So it's important to pay attention to negative coincidences as well. Ultimately, these coincidences are just another sign that we may be stuck in a time loop, and that every moment is just a repeat of the last lost time. Have you ever lost track of time? Maybe you were working on a project and suddenly realized you'd wasted hours doing nothing. According to some physicists, lost time isn't just a byproduct of distraction. It's actually proof that you're stuck in a time loop. When you lose track of time, your consciousness is momentarily cut off from the flow of the present. You become aware of the passage of time and suddenly realize that hours or even minutes have vanished. This isn't just a mental lapse, it's a glitch in the matrix of the universe. When you're reliving the same life over and over again, time becomes meaningless. There is no real difference between one moment and the next, because they all eventually lead to the same outcomes. So it's easy to lose track of time when you're in a time loop. It's like trying to measure the length of an infinite cycle. No matter how many iterations you experience, you still don't know how long the loop is because it never ends. The heat death of the universe. According to some theories, we're actually living at the end of time, which also means we're living at the beginning. Here's what I mean. The heat death of the universe is a theoretical state that all physical processes in the universe will eventually reach a state of maximum entropy. Everything would be evenly distributed and no further changes or energy transformations would be possible. This means no more stars, planets, or galaxies. Just a cold, dark void of empty space. But here's the twist. Some physicists believe that this state of maximum entropy is actually a singularity, a point where time loops back on itself and resets. In other words, the heat death of the universe is actually the Big Bang. All the matter and energy in the universe is recycled, and the universe begins again. So we may think we're living at the end of time, but really, we're just at the beginning of a new loop. The universe resets, and we find ourselves reliving the same existence over and over again. So what does it all mean? Being trapped in a time loop may sound like a bad thing, but some physicists see it as a blessing. If you believe you've already lived your whole life, then every decision you make from this point forward, won't change anything because you'll just keep reliving the same moments over and over anyway. In other words, what's the point of worrying about the future when it's all just a big fat repeat? On the other hand, being stuck in a time loop could also be seen as a curse. If you're doomed to relive the same moments forever, then every joy and sorrow, every triumph and tragedy, every memory and dream will eventually become meaningless. There will be no progress, just an endless cycle of repetition. Ultimately, whether you see being trapped in a time loop as a blessing or a curse depends on your perspective. Some people might find comfort in the idea that their lives have meaning and purpose, no matter what happens, while others might find it terrifying to think that their existence is meaningless and that they redoomed to an eternity of boredom. If you're one of those who sees the glass half full, then remember that every time you experience a new time loop, it's an opportunity to make things better. Maybe you can't change the past, but you can always choose to live in the present moment and appreciate the beauty around you. You can choose to be kind, compassionate, and forgiving. You can choose to follow your dreams and take risks. You can choose to love and be loved. In a world where everything repeats itself over and over again, it's up to you to add variety and excitement. So make the most of every time loop. Embrace the present moment and make it a better one than the last. So what do you think? Are we really stuck in a time loop and it's starting again? Let us know in the comments below. And don't even forget to like and share this video if you enjoyed it and want others to see it too. Thank you for watching. Until next time.